Right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
I hope you
Good
can,
morning, sir.
I hope you can all see my screen. Thank you so much. I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, I want to appreciate those of us who have been frequent on the commitments that we have made. I keep getting calls of when will I do another session, and my response is that this session we are holding has been, in the pipeline for the past 3 years. I have not been able to do it. So asking for next session, I don't know. That's the question because it's not just jumping into a classroom. Preparing for an online class in Nigeria is quite demanding. A lot of things are involved. You need to ensure that you have electricity's standby that can take you throughout, and you need to also ensure that the network is also available to get you through. So, and also my primary assignment is also there. So, well, that's just the solution for now. I don't know when, but anytime the Spirit, I get a grace, I will inform them. So that's still the solution I have. So, having said this, I want to appreciate everyone. When we say appreciating you, it's not something that is easy for you to get the time and to get the resources to get this opportunity to move on. So may I request someone, a volunteer, will pray with us as we begin the class. Please just unmute and pray with us.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you for today. Accept our prayer. Let us pray this in the name of Jesus. We thank you for grace. We thank you for enablement. We thank you for provision. We thank you for all that you have done for us. We thank you for our tutor. Lord, accept our thanks and praises in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And as we go on in today's training, we pray that you grant us divine wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
We pray that everything we are going to be taught today, we're able to apply even to our everyday lives and to anything that we may desire to apply it to in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And we pray for every one of us here that God will meet us at the point of our needs in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And that it shall be well with us, it shall be well with our families, it shall be well with all that are special to us.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord Jesus, for answered prayers. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen. You're welcome to week 4. We did a lot of recap last year to be able to meet up with those who joined us last week. And I'm not recapping again because our time is not friendly to us. We need to move very fast so that other things will not disturb us from finishing this. A number of people have submitted their assignment, and I quite appreciate you for that. You discover that also this note that I'm sharing has gone out this morning, and a lot of resources have equally gone out so that you can work with me as I work. If you want to do what I'm doing, please, you would have to. I sent a data set that I'm using today. I've sent it out. And for those of us who are still troubled on how to open data set, well, it is part of the knowledge. Please, if you have any trouble, you are free to contact me just like you have been contacting me on WhatsApp. And at the same level, let's post our question on the WhatsApp. I have people now that I can say they are quite upcoming. They are good in what they do, that know what they do. So up to yesterday night, I was still getting questions on the data I sent cannot be opened. And I keep wondering, do I have these people in my class? Anyway, that's part of the game. Keep asking questions. Don't think the question is foolish. Ask questions if you cannot get it round. So I've sent the data set to work with me. Just ensure that you have opened your SPSS and you are in line with me with whatever I do. That's why I sent it before the class, and I will continue to do that before the class till the end of this training, so that you can always work with me as I work. Last week we did a lot. We had to roll back, and in the process we did comparing on means, and the ones I couldn't finish, I forwarded to you so that you can complete that. And I'm so glad that a number of people have completed it. Now let me share this. After the 7th week, have increased it to another, I've added another week so that we can cover as many as possible. Let me let you know that we cannot finish SPSS. But what we are going to do will give you the privilege to know SPSS, and you can take it off from there. After the 7th week, you're going to create a portfolio. I'm going to give you 1 week. When I say portfolio, meaning that you're going to combine all the exercises from exercises 1 to the end. I'm going to give you 1 week to compile that. If you do that successfully within 1 week to give me all the details, please, you cannot copy. Let me assure us that you cannot copy. If you do, I will know. I'm going to give us 1 week after the last class. Compile all the exercises that I've given you from the beginning to the end. If you do that successfully, I will mark it, and that will form our test. That will form our examination. Okay, 1 week after the exam, after the class, you compile all. We're going to go into series of more exercises as from today, and that is why you cannot afford to neglect your project, your practical exercises from doing it with respect to the time given, so that you don't have it compiled. The moment you get it compiled, you get confused, you get disturbed. Okay, so I want us to do it as quickly as possible as we can. But for those who may not be able to meet up, I will give us 1 week. Compile it and you will submit. You get information to that regard. Your ability to do this guarantees that you have successfully completed the course. Your inability to do this also guarantees that you are still in the process of completing the course. All right? I hope this is clear to us. If you have questions in this regard, may I request I give you 1 second or 2 before the class begins. Anybody? Okay, then also I want to believe by now that we have all installed the software we required, SPSS. Up to yesterday night, I still shared my resources with people, which is free. I hope we have been able to do it ourselves. Please, it's compulsory. Thank you. Thank you. It's compulsory. It's not a matter of I don't have it. I'm learning. I'm using my phone. I don't have laptop. I will get laptop later. I don't know how you want to survive with that. If you don't do it now, it's like it's like something. Let me say it's flammable. Once you don't do it now, it flies away from your brain. So let's get it done now. Thank you so much. Last week we had a process of how we can compare 1 or 2 means together to see which one is greater and which one is not is lesser with respect to categorical variable. We'll also go in line with that today, and I want to say today that we want to I hope we'll be able to cover 2 topics, which is cross-tabulation and chi-square. We will do that. Wherever we stop on chi-square, I will give us examples and the data sets to complete that, so that by next week we can go to a t-test. Okay, t-test and ANOVA and all that, so that we'll be able to move faster than we have been moving. All right, cross-tabulation is what we have today. It's still another very simple analysis, a little bit of frequency, a little bit of inferential, but more of frequency anyway, because no much is done. And at the end of today, if you look at the course outline that I sent across to you, at the end of today, or before the end of today, of this cross-tabulation, I will also show you how to eliminate, which I promise, how to eliminate missing values. We'll see that in the practical illustrations that we'll go through. And probably before the end of the day, the recording will also be available. I will share the link. For those of you who have been following, a YouTube channel has been created where you can get the recording, and this will also be added before the end of the day, and the link will be shared. So, what is crosstab? I'm going to avoid some theories. There are some theories, mathematical calculations. When I say theory, they're just mathematical calculations that you don't need. that are not necessary if you are not mathematically inclined. It is just how we arrive at the solution, how we can compare table. But I will just share a bit of it so that we don't get lost totally. But it is not necessary. I will tell you where you can skip and where you cannot skip. Just for those of you who are not afraid of adding 1 plus 1, it is okay. You can read through the table. It's just about 13 pages. It says to describe a single categorical variable, we use frequency table to do this, right? And what are we trying to show? It shows a relationship between two categorical variables. And by now, when we say categorical variable, I hope we know what we mean. Okay, we have been looking at categorical variable for almost 3 weeks now. So we use a special type of table called a cross-tabulation, and for short, that's why we call it crosstab. Okay, and let's look at the types we have. We have a crosstab, a two-way table, a contingency table, right? And when we talk about a table is made up of cells, just like we have it in Excel, okay? And this is an example here of a 2 by 2 table. Those of us who are doing experimental, you know more about this. We have a 2 by 2 table, we have a 3 by 2 table, we have a 3 by 3, 3 by 4, 4 by 2, and all that. Now, a table is made up of a row and a column. A table is made up of a row and a column. Now, what we have here on the screen is called a square table of 2 by 2, which means 2 times 2 is the same thing as 2 by 2. And it has to do with just two categorical variables each. 2 each, and that is why we have it 2 by 2. The first categorical variable has to do with gender. And gender, we are considering male and female here. That is 2 what? That is 2 role. And we have the other side that talks about what? Drink. Do you drink alcohol? And the expected answer falls into 2. No and yes. And that is 2 column. And here we want to compare the result of, if you have to compare the result of these people, you have how many males are drinking, how many females are drinking, how many males are not drinking, and how many females are not drinking, or drinking as the case may be. And eventually we have the total as we have it at the right hand side, and we also have another total beneath the table, as we can see. And I'm sure you can see this here, and you can see this on the table as it is here. We have the first total of the male as 46, that of the female as 45, and the grand total as 91. We also have it, those who can drink, we have 65, and those who don't drink as 26, irrespective of the gender. That takes us to further classification. Like we said, I said the role forms the what? The gender, and the females form the ability to drink. And the column forms the ability to drink or no ability to drink. That is categories of table and column. Now let's go further to a bigger table, 4 by 2. Let me let you know that when you are classifying a cross table, when you have questions like this, very soon, maybe by next week, I will begin to give you technical questions that it's only you that will determine what you use. But I want us to get to a level where we study at least most of the variables, most of the statistical tools that you need. After today's class, I'm going to share a textbook with us. I will see if I can get a soft copy where we have so many statistical analysis and also the data that we can pull out. You will read this on your own and see how, if you have the time, it's going to be an additional knowledge to the class so that you can see how you can practice. Itself is a more or less a manual. Every detail is involved of what to do, how to do it, provided you have your SPSS. And sometimes too, may I call your attention that you may have to go outside the videos that you have, that we make in class, to be able to get some things clear. Let's not shy away from that. Let's expand our knowledge to other areas. So for this, we have 4 by 2. it's good for you to know that when we say four, the first four there stands for row. Okay, the last two stand for column. So it is we usually classify a cross tabulation by row and column, So you mentioned the number of row before column, and that's why we say 4 by 2. Here we have what we call a class tabulation of class rank. Class rank, we have fresher, we call it freshman, we have sophomore, we have junior, and we have senior. Let me let you know that the meaning of sophomore here with the Nigerian context means year 2 student. So I'm going to replace this in our data, which I think I have replaced, so that you can understand this. I'm going to write this on the screen as I go with what? Year 2 students. Take note of that so that you don't get confused. And I will explain what this means as we move on. So I'm replacing this with what? Year 2 sophomore that we have there. I'm going to get to the middle where you understand the meaning of this. Now, what are we saying here? Class rank, we have these people that will stay in the hostel, and we have the number of male, the number of females, and the total as the column there. Now, if you move down, we have 2 by 3 here, meaning 2 row, 3 column. Male and female is moved to this other side, and we are talking about here, do you still smoke? Okay, the questions have been changed to like height here, okay, where we have never smoke, past smoker, and current what? Smoker. So it's not just yes and no, and of course that gave us more categorical variable, and you can still create more of undecided, chain smoker, etc. You can still create more of that. So that's why we have it classification here, and it goes on and on. Now the next one is how to get a percentage of those who smoke. Okay, percentage is just adding and dividing by the number of units. If you want to do that manually, the calculation, that's why I said earlier, the addition and subtraction is there. How to get the total that we have been getting here, you are just going to add, for example, number of male that never smoked, plus number of past smoker, plus number of current smoker, is giving us 47. You add 32 plus 1, that's 33, plus 14 gives us 47. Female, 25 plus 3 plus 16 gives 44. And the total here is 32. Never smoke people, 32 plus what? 25, irrespective of gender. That is how to find addition. But what of percentage? Percentage is total divided by what? Divided by the number of output. You may go through this calculation to get that. We may not be able to go through that now. I want to leave that. Every note has been, given to you step by step. You can see the percentage are derived by, divided by what? Which is every of your percentage solution accumulation has to, when we say percentage, over 100. So your number has to be equal to 100. Your total percentage has to be equal to 100. If it is not equal, it means there's an error that has been committed somewhere. So I'm going to skip this, leave this to you to go through it if you are interested, and which is very simple. It's just 1 plus 1 and the rest of them. That's all. So I'm going to go to the setup now, data setup and requirement that we need for this first practical exercise. But before I move on, may I request, if you have questions where I have just what we have done. Let me pause if you have any questions. Let's take your questions now before we go into the SPSS running of the data we have and we generate the output. It's actually a very simple concept. The cross tabulation, very simple this morning. Let me pause for a minute and ask your questions so that I will know that we are on the same paragraph. Please, you can speak. Hello class, may I ask if I'm also with you so that I know I'm not caught up by network or other challenges around?
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
All right. Do I have anybody with a question? Complications? You don't, I've spoken too much of the technical things that you don't understand. I'm willing to roll back and willing to explain. This is the time. All right, I want to believe that we have no complications for now. So we are talking about data setup. Your data must meet this condition, categorical variable. The two tables must be in categorical variable. I know by now you know what we mean by categorical variable. So you must have two categorical variables, two or more categorical variable, or sometimes you can have groups for each variable. It could be groups. When you have such, then you can use what? You can use cross-tabulation to get the result out. Take note, I'm giving us conditions and of when to use a particular statistical tool. These are conditions that you will see when you have categorical variable and they are in this order. You know what to do. Okay. Now let's go on. Let's go on to the first. Well, let me just explain what you will see in cross-tabulation. You know, most of the things you will see we will not exhaust the explanation here. We are likely to move to t-test by next week before we can get to the end of some of the meaning, so that you don't get your brain does not clock out or you get deadlock in terms of the meaning of each. We would be explaining them as we use them, so that you don't have theory that you cannot practice. So when you move to when you click on analyze, it's still on descriptive tab that you click on, and under that descriptive tab is where we have crosstab. By the time I finish this explanation, we'll move there and you will see what we want to do. I will show us. All right, you can also begin to flow with me and click on it at your end as I explain. However, I will switch in between my recording to see that this is done as much as necessary. So when you do that, you will get this menu out. And let me quickly just explain some of this, even though the note is very self-explanatory on each of the rows, red alphabeticals that are actually explained. Now you will have your cross-tabulation here from your data set. It's going to bring it. It's going to bring it in at this other side. It's going to bring it in at this other side. Okay, and the moment you have this here, which is titled crosstabs, and you have your variables here. At this point, we're not talking about dependent or independent variable yet, just like I explained last week. But what we have is still very simple. Just indicate your rows and column. Okay, we're going to, during our exercises this morning, we will bring in our rows and column. So let's look at, for A, you bring in your row here. For B, you bring in your column. How do you do that? How would you do that? Just click on what you want to bring in as your row at the left hand side, and you move it to the right hand side. Okay, the same thing goes to your column too. Just click at the left hand side and you also bring it to the right hand side. Click and drag. You can click and drag, or you click and click on this button. And the third method is that you double click. Please, after the class this morning, just go to the WhatsApp page and and type I was in class. I was in class. I was in class. I just want to know. I didn't want to generate automatic attendance on Google Classroom. Some of you may not have access to it because some people are not within the Babcock environment. So just go to the WhatsApp. I like to capture those who are in class, and I don't want to flip back to check. I just want to know how many people have idea of how many people were in class this morning. Please take note. After the class, just type I was in class. That will give me the idea of what I want. So number C, what do we have in C? Remember last week that we may have, sometimes we may need to compare groups, meaning that sometimes more than a column. Okay, at that point is where we have C. Look at the definition of C here, which is here it was a layer. Okay, the moment you have a layer, you click on previous, it's going to hide it, and you can bring another layer here. So I'm sure some did the assignment, some seek for or sought for permission to expand it or to extend the time. Fine. I hope you will be able to live with the pressure, because by today another one is coming. It's not too hard. It's something that within 2 hours, 1 hour, we will be okay with. The layer here is an optional. just like we had it last week. Sometimes you may have a problem, and many of the occasions we don't have problems that will lead us here. But what if you eventually get into this area to analyze for people, and people will bring challenging situations to you that you have to find solution to. So that's why we said it's good to know everything. So it's an optional stratification variable. When a layer variable is specified, the crosstab between the row and column variable will be created at each level of the layer variable. You can have multiple layers of variables by specifying the first layer variable, then clicking next to specify second or subsequent layer. You see, alternatively, you can try out multiple variables as single layer at a time by putting them in layer 1 of box 1. Okay, so that is what we have here. When you have multiple columns, you bring them here. You want to do comparison, then you can put them here just like we did last week. We had an example last week. For today, we will not go through that because we have a lot of things that we have not covered. So that's all about ABC. Let's go to D. On the statistics level, what do we have on the statistics level? We have so much, about 15 rows, 15 label we have here. Now, we will not go through all this today, but as we use them, we explain them. The only thing that you will see us using today is chi-square, not even on this page. On the next topic, probably anytime from 8 o'clock downward, we should be able to start the second topic. So let's look at, it says open the crosstab statistics window, which contains 15 different, take note, 15 different inferential statistics. Do you hear that? They are inferential. We have moved out of out of the simple descriptive. They are inferential for comparing categorical. Now, listen, you only come here when you want to compare categorical variable, irrespective of the problem. Someone asked last week, how do we know what to use? This, I'm getting there gradually now. The question will tell you category. Sometimes it won't tell you, but by the time you see the questionnaire, that is why an analyst will always ask you, I need the questionnaire. The moment you see the questionnaire, you will see the categories of the questionnaire. Categorical variable, that was why it was very important when we were coding. We have nominal, we have ratio, and we have what? We have ordinal. And you discover that nominal is still what we are moving now, right? It's still what we are using. When we get to ordinal will be categorized and will be what? There will be different from one category to the other. An example is institutional qualification. Primary school, secondary school, university, PhD, they are categorized, and they are what? They have differences between one category and the other. Take note, the categories we are working with this morning does not have differences. It's just the same level. We are all on the same level. You may be drinking, you may not be drinking. It is still the same. There is no classification in terms of, there is no class. So take note, when to use this, it has to be what? It has to be on categorical variable. So when you come here, you have these various tools. If you count it, there are 15. We have chi-square, we have correlation, we have on the nominal. Look at this now. Good. When you are on nominal, you can use what? Contingency coefficient. You can use phi and Cramer's phi. You can use lambda. You can use uncertainty coefficient. Don't bother yourself with all this. I'm going to give you a note that will break this down for you after today that you can read. And when we are using it too, I will also explain one level to the other. Then you have, when you are talking about ordinal classification, you go to gamma, summa, Kendall style C, Kendall style B. And when you leave that, you go to nominal by interval. You talk about the eta value. You will get to that very soon. When you leave on the concept of the eta value, you talk about kappa, risk, and Magna. And finally, you also talk about Cochrane and mental enthesis, what? Statistics. And the moment you are done or you don't want anything to do with that, you click OK or continue. On the cell, which is a category here, on the cell, no much is on the cell. On the cell, we have how many variable here too. On the cell, opens a crosstab cell. We have some outputs that are necessary. We use some of them this morning. We have four. We have one here. On the count, we have observe. We have expected. For the crosstab this morning, we're going to use this. We're going to use this, and we are actually observing. And the observation, we have expected, we have hide, small count, which means anything less than 5 will be hidden. On this Z test, compare column proportion. Then we have percentage column where you can find percentage. The percentage I requested earlier that we can use, we can calculate manually. If you want to calculate with the SPSS, you need to come here. You find the percentage in row, percentage in column, percentage in total, and you move from there to residual, where we have unstandardized, standardized, and adjusted standardized. We will get to all that when we need to use them. For this morning, we're just going to use this, which I have explained, how to look for the addition of percentage of row, percentage of column, which means you add it together over 100. And finally, total. That is what we want to use this morning. And when you leave this, you come to the last variable on cell. You have non-integer width, round cell count, truncate cell count, no adjustment, round case width, and also truncate case width. And when you leave that, finally, is the format of your data. How do you want your data to be, organized? Do you want it in ascending order or you want it in descending order? Most times the default is ascending and we don't go there at all. You don't go there. Once you just go to cell or statistics, just click OK and you get your result. All right, let me pause again. Right now I'm going into the practical session. Let me pause now to ask if you have question. Anybody with a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
All right, sir. My question is this, sir. I want to be sure that chi-square, if I get you correctly, is under cross-tabulation.
Yes.
Now, because I think I once heard about that under chi-square, we also have this goodness of fit and another one, which I've forgotten now. It escaped my mind now. Mm-hmm. So because I want to be sure, because I realized that under chi-square here, under all those examples that we have under cross-tabulation, the 15, okay, it is not indicated here. So I want to be sure, is that separate statistics? Okay. Or still
here, right?
Under. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, you are talking about what was the question again?
The question is, because I know that I once had under chi-square that we can do goodness of fit under chi-square. Okay. And there's another one. There are two.
Okay, have you opened your own?
Yeah, no, I've not opened.
Okay, try and open your own. If you have goodness of fit, then let me know.
All right, sir.
Then if we don't have, then I will tell you where we can get goodness of fit later.
All right, sir.
Thank you so much. Any other question? Okay, you can speak. You don't have to, I can't see behind the screen, so please.
Okay, sir. Thank you for the lecture, sir. Sir, please, I'm lost. I don't know what to click on to get to the crosstab, sir.
We have not actually done anything.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'm still on the theory, so I've not clicked on anything. If you see, I'm still on MS Word for almost 30 minutes now. Word. So I've not actually clicked on anything. So I'm not sure you are lost. Any other person? Okay, we're going to do a simple. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask the importance of crosstab. While we come to finish with compare means, we have been comparing different means. Now, yes. Crosstab will be helping us.
We compare categorical variable on a table. It's used for table classification. When you have two tables, you want to compare them. For example, you have students in the hostels. All right, let's look at an example here. Is that okay? The Diocrates.
Thank you, sir. By example, we are getting.
Yeah, good. Let's look at this example, and I'm sure you'll get it. Okay, please open your mind. Open up. Thank you. You're welcome. Open your mind to this, everybody, and I'm sure by the time we evaluate why are we using it, what is the importance. I like that question so that you know when you see such and you can say, oh, this question. This is what you can use for it. It should be cross-tabulation because of this, because of this, because of this. One of the questions or the conditions I told you earlier that it has to be categorical variable. The two table or two column and row have to be categorical. It could be three categorical. It could be four. It could be two. It could be 2 by 2. It could be 3 by 2. Everything has to be categorical. Let's look at this example. And say some universities in the United States require that freshmen, when we say freshmen here, fresh students, that's what we mean. But here we are talking about freshmen, live in the on-campus dormitory, just like we have in Babcock. We don't allow fresh people to live outside. So, because they are just coming, they don't know anything. So we expect them to be on campus. So we say here that freshmen live in the on-campus. Do you see that? Look at that English. Live in the on-campus, meaning that freshmen live on campus dormitory during their first year. However, there's an exception to that. With exception for students whose families live within a certain radius of campus. Do you hear that? So that when they have to get to school, it won't be difficult. Some of them can walk, some of them can bike, some of them can join commercial to school. Now, this is certain. That is, certain freshmen whose families live close enough to campus are permitted to live off campus. After completing their first or second year of school, students living in the dorms may choose to move into an off-campus apartment. How prevalent is this pattern? Which means, how practiced is this pattern? So we want to see a particular institution, how many people live on campus, how many people live off campus. We want to compare that now. I have shared the data we are using with you. Okay, so very soon I'm going to switch to SPSS where we'll see this. But what are we looking for? Let's look at what we are looking for briefly. We are looking for the field of rank. And on the ranking side, we have class rank, where we have freshmen. I have changed my summer 4 to what? Year 2, meaning year 1. This question is telling us that you must be where? You must be on campus, but exceptional condition is given for parents who live very close to the school. You can live with them. But the moment you are getting to year 2, you are free to now live outside live within the community. So we have freshmen. We want to know how many freshmen, live on campus, how many year 2 students live on campus, how many junior students live on campus, how many senior students live on campus. So we are going to use the field of rank and the field of what? Live on campus. And live on campus is just 2 questions. Yes or what? No. Okay? And here, very soon, we are not going to look at this now, maybe in the next one. State of, where state, are you an in-state or out-state student? Meaning that, are you within the state or outside the state? We are not going to consider that now. But let's look at this very simple one. Another question, I want to relate this to Babcock University. We have a population of about 12,000 here. And you are given an assignment by your teacher here that go and find out among these 12,000 students, how many of them live on campus, how many of them live off campus. I want to ask a question. That is for live on campus. Now, may I ask you, if you are asked to rank this based on the rank, who can give me the classification we can use for Babcock? Just based on the rank. I want a solution. You can speak, just unmute yourself and speak.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yes, sir. We have undergraduates, master's students and postgraduate students. But if you want to use the undergraduate, then we can have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5.
Okay. Now, if you go that route, I agree with you. Thank you. You can just mute. If you go that route, that would be so large. Okay. I think we can do it better. I don't want to give you a solution. Can someone else? That's very fine. Fantastic. Okay. You have undergraduate, graduate, and what? Postgraduate. Is that what you said?
Yes, I just break postgraduates, but there's still people who say postgraduate diploma. So
okay, that would be quite clumsy. Now, you know one other thing. I think I don't want to give you the answer. Let me listen to somebody else quickly.
Okay, let me try, sir.
Good.
Okay, we can, as we know the culture of the school, that some departments are expected to live on campus, like medical students. We can rank such faculty that we expect that they should stay on campus. Again, for 100 level, we believe that they are freshers and they don't know, they are not used to the environment yet. We can also rank the freshers separately from people that are like around 300, 400 level. That's for one set of people for undergraduate students. But for postgraduates, what the ranking can just be if you are living on campus, indicate. If you are not living on campus, you should indicate, because for postgraduates, we expect that you may live or may not live.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. I appreciate all those who have spoken. Just to be able to minimize the time spent on this, let me give the solution I think that will work for us without creating rancor and ambiguity. I think we can go with, please, it's nice if you can mute, and I will appreciate that. It's just go with the levels. Okay? 100 level, 200 level, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. That's what we have in the classification of Babcock. Do you all agree to this, class?
Yes, sir.
100 are the freshers.
Yes.
200 are those who have spent 200. 300, there are some courses, those who are junior students. 400, senior students. 500, nurses and med lab and agric are getting into 5. Engineering are into 5. 600, medicine. 700, diploma. 800 masters, 900 PhD. So if you classify, before you know it, you will get the population of Babcock with those who live on and off campus. That's the way I think will save us that. There may be other classifications that are correct that you have mentioned. There's no doubt about that. So let's quickly go into this exercise. The only thing we are bringing in with what we have above is just rank as the row variable. And okay, two things, rank and what? Live on campus. I have given you the data. So I'm going to switch right now. Then we'll go and compare. Take note, our answer that we are bringing might be different from this. Reason is that I computed an additional field myself. I created an additional field with the result. So by the time you are bringing the result, even though it's going to be the same output, but the variables, the data is not going to be similar. For example, the missing value, non-missing value here will not be the same, and the total the freshman, the year 2, the junior, and the senior might likely differ. But let's go and see what we have. We'll go and do it now and quickly come back. Permit me to switch to my output screen, Excel screen, and see what we can, get from there. I'm going to switch to my SPSS screen now, so that this will also appear. That will also appear in the recording. All right, I'm here. I'm not going to go back to the question. I'm sure we know what we have to bring in. This is the variable view. Can you still see my screen, gentlemen and ladies?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
we are bringing rank and what? Live on campus. And we're going to work with what? Number 1 and number what? Number 8. And the same thing I have, you also have. I hope you receive yours this morning, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I did.
thank you. So from here now, you go to where? Analyze. And you go to what? Descriptive statistics, and you click on cross-tabulation. And I have it here. So our rank is going to where? Gentlemen and ladies, I want someone to tell us, where is our rank going to? Is it row or column? Hello?
Row.
Thank you. Then
Row.
thank you. Thank you. Then I click on live on campus. I'm moving into where? Column. That's all. I click on OK. I'd like to click on OK. I believe you are not lost. Anybody missing? Is there anybody missing?
Please come again, sir.
From where to where, madam?
From how you chose the row and column, sir.
Okay, I'm returning them. The row and column came from the row and column came from the question, the data given to us. This data was given in addition to the theory question we read out in MS Word. And I have also forwarded this data set. We call it data set. I forwarded it to you. Please mute your profile, please. Mute your profile if you want to listen to me. If you discover here we have a lot of missing data, a lot. We'll see how we can eliminate this shortly after now. So that's not our concern now. And if you want to see the breakdown, you will know what the breakdown is. The rank here we have how many ranking? We have up to 4, just like we have explained. Live on gender 1 to 2. Live on campus. Let's see. Live on campus we have how many? Yes or no? It's yes or no. But the ranking here, level 1, level 2, level 1, junior class, year 2, and what? Senior class. So that's why we have up to 4. Look at this. This is 4. So that is the meaning. From the question, you should be able to interpret with this numerical value. And I will be very, very, interested if some people are still not getting this at the end of this practical session. So I'm going back to where our friend got missing or got lost. I click on, you can be anywhere, by the way. You can be here and also do the same. But I choose to be here for some reasons why, to be able to, please mute your profile. Please, it's not time for question yet. Mute your profile. I click on analyze and I click on descriptive statistics and I move to what? Cross-tabulation. We are actually comparing rank, and the ranking here is the number of levels. You can change rank to levels. And we just classify that to Babcock University. Earlier, Babcock University earlier, okay? I think my own assignment today given to you, you have to use data. Maybe you have to use dummy data, so that you don't spend so much time. I'm going to give you Babcock University as an example of this, that you generate and look for the solution for us. You just enter 10 records anyway, so you can use a dummy data for that. So here we are using rank, and rank indicates the classification of people that will stay in the hostel. Okay, we have the freshman, we have the year 2, we have the junior class, we have the senior class. For Babcock, I have given you a very good definition or classification, which is a 2 by 9 table, a 2 by 9 table. So here I have this here, and we are talking about those on campus, yes or no, and we have them here, and we have the 2, and we click OK, and we go to the solution. This is our solution. If you look at this solution, it says what? Crosstab, and we have the case processing here. We have the case processing. Please permit me to switch to the output. If I don't switch to the output, the recording will not capture that. Yeah, the recording is on now, and I have been able to capture this so that you can see this when you are reviewing this content. Now I'm on the output screen, and here now I have valid, I have missing, and I have total. That is for the first summary, a case processing summary. And finally, we have the rank. You can see, it's a rank times what? Live on campus cross-tabulation. Rank by, you can say rank by. Remember, the other time you say 2 times 2. 2 by 2. So here now is a table of what? Rank by live on campus. It didn't say live on campus and rank. Rank is the row. Live on campus is the what? Column. And here you have what? You have this solution. Okay? If you compare this solution to the word, likely to be a slight different because I actually populated some content myself, and it's likely to also be the same if we go back. For example, now let's go and compare the total here. The valid score here is 388, which is 89%, and the invalid, which is missing, is 47 and 10.8. Okay, we'll see. Let's quickly go back and compare that to our MS Word. Let me switch the recording to tabulation. Okay. Now look at this. Exactly 388, 89. This is still correct. And we still have it correct. This is still correct. It's the other example that I actually changed. So this is still correct. Do you see that, class? Can you see that? The output is still correct with what we got.
Yes, sir.
So may I ask you, gentlemen and ladies, how many of you have tried it at your end? Because you have everything that I'm using. If you have, I'd like to know what your experiences are quickly. Yeah, just speak.
Actually, it's not the same thing.
Did you get the same? Did you get the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have multiple answers. So thank you so much. I have to clap. I will give you an electronic clapping if I have to switch back, but I'm not. I won't switch back to the screen. So that's bravo. That's a good effort. And I just decided that since it's a hands-on practical, do as I do. You need to always have the data so that you don't just listen, you practice as you go along. Thank you so much. For those of you who are not there, there is nothing bad in collaborative learning. What I mean by collaborative learning, you go back with your student, and go back with your colleague. Pick one or two people that you know have been answering questions consecutively. Form a group WhatsApp with them. How can we do this together? You're not going to submit what you do together. When you do it together, you have a group WhatsApp, a group online meeting in video, in audio. When you finish and you have done a group work, you have done the assignment, you now go back on your own and do your own and compare what you have done to what you and your friend did earlier. That will also help you out. Okay? So that is, let's go back to the output and look at the other section there as we should have it.
Sir.
Yes.
This table now is it 4 by 2?
No, it is 2 by, this table we are using now, it is 4 by 2, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Why? Because our rank is classified into 4. And we stated this earlier in the theory. We have the freshman, we have the year 2, we have the junior, and we have the senior. And that's why we have it up to 4 here. Look at it, everybody. I have it here up to 4. And if you look at live on campus, there's a, in fact, you don't need to define this table again. You want to move it to Word, just copy here, copy and move. And then you go to Word and explain. Now let's go to the explanation briefly. Here now we have those living on campus. The 0 here means no. I hope you know, class. I want an answer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have about 231 students.
Yes, sir.
Out of 388. May I ask, why are we using 388? Because the students are actually more than 388. I just want to know that you know what I'm talking about. I want an answer.
Missing values. Missing values.
They are not what?
It has excluded the missing thing.
Because the missing values are not what? They are not what? They are not valid. They are not, because they are not valid. You look at it here. The system has brought it out. Valid. Missing value. Very soon, in the next 10 minutes, we're going to see how we can eliminate this missing value. Okay, so we have those who are living on campus, who are not living on campus as well, 231, which means we have those living outside more than those who are living inside. You get it that now. If you want to see year 1, the year 1 is actually 100 and what? 100 and what? 30. 31 for both, for the population, both living and non-living. They are 137. Thank you. For year 2, we have it. For year 3, we have it. For year 4, we have 63. Thank you so much.
137, sir.
Yes, thank you. 137 for year 1. Thank you for that corrections. So with this now, let's go back to the note. I'm going to flash back to our crosstab note. Let's go and complete the other exercise. We just completed the first exercise on this. May I ask if you have question before we go to the second and the last exercise on the crosstab? Before you do that, let me show you how to write the report quickly before you can ask your question. Okay, all these are not part of it. Say the case processing summary tells us, we saw that. It tells us what proportion of the observation had non-missing value for both rank and live on campus. In this sample, there were 47 cases that had a missing value for rank. Live on campus, or for what? Both rank and live on campus. I'm sure we saw that, just like we saw here, 47 cases. Okay, now we move forward. The second table, usually you don't show this. You don't need this. Gentlemen and ladies, you don't show this in your report, except if required. This is what you need to show, and this is what you need to write your report on. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Why don't you show it?
It's not necessary. You are not asked to, except if required. Okay? If required, yes, you can show it. But what we need, for example, that's a good question. Why don't we show it? In Babcock University, what's my question? I want to know the number of people who the valid students who live on campus, and the valid student who lives who lives off campus. Does that include this? May I ask you, does that include this?
No, sir.
Yes. This is for error tracking. However, if the question now went further, that you want to know those who smuggle themselves in, those who are not valid, who are in between, who are not supposed to be students, but one way or the other, they are within the student, then you can show this. Okay? Then you need to show this. At the end of the day, you are still this is going to be our concentration, but a mix-up of error, which was not involved in the final output. So that is why most times this is what you show, except the examiner is interested in seeing your error value, which is an error. This is the solution plus the error. So most times we don't need case summary, but if it's a note, not an examination, you may include this. But if it's an examination, your thesis, your project, and all that, yes, you don't need to show that. It's just occupying space. You don't need it. Okay? I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. The second table here, class rank by. Please take this multiplication as by. You can see in the output too. By do you live on campus, which is on campus, cross-tabulation, contains the cross-tab. We can quickly observe information about this. Let's look at the report. Many more freshmen live on campus. We saw that, isn't it? 100 than off campus with 37. Do you see that? When you say more, now there are two ways. You can take the percentage, you can take the real value. Anyone you choose, but you cannot have a mixture. Now this report now is just on the real value, not on the percentage. And it did not mix real value with percentage. However, you can have both too. You can have both. 100, then you now put the percentage in bracket. You need to open one. Hello, I hope you are not confused, class.
No, sir.
You cannot use both percentage and what? What do I mean? Look at it here. This is the percentage. We say 100 and it pick 100. It didn't pick 137 because 130, the 100 here is just for what? Just for freshmen, those who live on campus. However, this is the total. There's no percentage here. The next problem, we're going to look for percentage. We don't have percentage yet. Is that clear to everybody? We don't have percentage here. What we have here is total. The next calculation will include percentage. Are we together, class?
Yeah, together.
Yes, sir.
So that is why we say 100. And let's go further to see further reports. So about an equal number of when we say this, I mean junior. I use junior. No, year two. Year two. I use year two. Yeah, I use year two here. So in case what I sent to you is not year two, you understand? It's summer four, which is means year two. Just you can change it at your end. I'm just changing it now. About an equal number of year two leave off campus, which is 42, versus what on campus. Just a slight difference of what? Of 4. 6. Difference of 6.
6.
Thank you.
6.
Thank you. Look at it here. 42 and what? 48. Almost. And the total is what? 90. Almost. Look at that language. So your language matters in your report. It shows that you have a control of numeric analysis, numerical analysis. Those of you who have done qualitative, you will know that you have to have a grip of what? Qualitative languages when you are writing your report. But this is numerical, this is quantitative. So you must control your language quantitatively. About an equal, about number of year 2 lived off campus with 42 versus on campus 48. Far more juniors, look at that, far more junior live off campus 90 than what? On campus. Sometimes they will ask you to justify this in a literature, meaning that go and look for reasons why we have more what? Junior that live off campus. You have to look for literature to support this. And most times too, you have to look for literatures to discuss all this. Those of you who are writing PhD, MSc, and it's very easy. Just go and read. Look for reasons why people stay off campus. Papers will justify, not just you, not using your brain to give us the cases, but you use papers to justify your reasons based on what people have done, based on what people have written, why people run away from school environment and live off campus. A lot of issues could arise. Lack of electricity, water, issues, sanitation, etc. Or people, lack of maturity and all that. So let's look at the last one. Only one senior live on campus. The rest live off campus with what? 62. Which is true. Any question before we move to the last and the second and last exercise on this topic?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're welcome.
I have a question on interpretation on right number 2,
All right.
where we are comparing people of year 2.
Okay.
One may think that the difference of 6 students is a considerable, a higher number, that he cannot say it is equal. So if in interpretation, he used to say that there is a difference of 6 for year 2. Is it wrong?
It is not wrong, my dear brother. It is not. What we have is a matter of language. I can change this language to. This is an interpretation from the author. You don't have to use this language. You can change it to say that we have a higher what? Higher student live off campus with 42 than what? Than live on campus than what? 42 that lives on campus. That's a change of expression now. Do you see that?
Okay, thank you.
So you don't have to use this language. What I want us to do is to have a control of numeric word to use. Right? So you can just read through. These are other additional explanation here. You can read through, okay? And the total, that's the total value we have. Any other question? Our time is not friendly, so that we can.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir, please, I want to ask, is it, can we put any variable in the row and column during cross-tabulation?
I don't.
Is it,
Okay, come again. Continue.
yes, can we put any variable that we are comparing in row and column, or it is specific for us to put a particular variable in row, while a particular one has to be in column?
Wow. The whatever you are putting is either in the questionnaire you're analyzing. It's not. Nobody is going to give you to analyze a question without giving you the data. Okay. If that's, I think I understand what you are saying now. Oh, let me. I just understood it. Yes, any categorical variable, provided this is categorical variable. If you look at the next example now, we are going to change it. I got your point, meaning that let's go back here. Let's go back here. What if we change this? What if we change our row to be what? Do you live on campus? And we move our column to what? Rank. Is that not your question?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
100%.
Good. If you have that, the title is going to change. It's not going to be 4 by 2. Can you tell us the classification of that? What that would be called?
2 by 4.
Good. I hope.
2 by 4.
Good.
Two by
Yes, it's possible, but the title will change. Thank you. We are going into that now. Can I move forward, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Please, good morning, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
Please, I want to find out, Excel, with what we have been doing, we have the SSP when you show the table.
SPSS.
SPSS and Excel. Are they the same?
I've never showed Excel. SPSS and Excel are not the same thing. I've never used Excel. Maybe by next week I promise you something that how to import from Excel. SPSS and Excel are not the same thing. However, SPSS can do a significant function of the SPSS. I say significant, cannot do everything, but can do to a very significant level. Can do a lot, but not completely everything. But I have not used SPSS. I don't want you to be confused. I don't want to compare. We have not even finished SPSS. How much more of studying Excel? The only thing I will show you in Excel is how to bring in data. That's all. If you want to study further, you can go and register for Excel. I don't want you to be confused there. Thank you so much. So let's go to another example here. Now we want to see.
Sir.
Yes.
Please, sir, I just want to ask. The example we read is 4 by 2.
Yes.
If it is 2 by 4, will it affect the result?
No.
And
it's not going to affect. It's not going to affect the result.
It's not.
What you bring in first is not a problem.
Okay.
When we get to next week function on t-square, that is where we need to determine dependent and independent variable when we are bringing in data.
Okay.
That's when it matters. But right now we don't have. Remember when I started, I said there's no dependent, there's no what independent variable. So it doesn't matter what you bring in first. It doesn't affect the solution. Can we move ahead, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you too. Now let's build on the table, shown in example 1.
Hello?
All right. Yes.
Fine. Hello?
You have the floor. Yeah.
Fine.
Are you with us, madam? Can we continue? Hello?
Yes, sir. Probably our network is affected.
All right. You can type. If you type it on the section, someone is going to call my attention to it. In case your network is bad, please, you have the right to ask questions. We can't hear you, but we had a glimpse that you are speaking. We have the idea that someone wants to speak, but we cannot hear a word. So can you please type your question and someone will read out for me? It can be on the WhatsApp, it can be on the Google table where we can, on the Google text section. Someone is going to read it out and we can answer your question. We can't hear you, it means your network is very, very bad. Now, the benefits on that is that you can check the video later, which will help you because every stage of what we do is actually documented and the voices are clear. Now, let's build on the table we have 1 by adding row, column, and total percentage. I just told you earlier that another interpretation we can have is to interpret in terms of percentage. We just want to add a percentage to it. For simplicity's sake, let's switch out the variable. I just told you we're going to change it now. We're going to change rank, which has 4 categories with the variable rank upper and and under, which has two categories. Now, rank is not going to have two categories, upper and lower. No, sometimes, let me explain this. Rank that we had that was 4, now is going to be 2. Do you know, sometimes in your questions, in your questionnaire, in your thesis, you may have to rank this to avoid having too many things that will give you trouble. You may have to rank this to only 2, upper and lower, junior and senior class rank. Do we know this, class? And the ranking was what someone gave me earlier, but it was too abstract. It was too sudden. It was too small and congested. About Babcock University, the person gave me undergraduate and postgraduate. That's fine. That is for the ranking of 1 to 9. We can have it undergraduate and what? Postgraduate. But within the undergraduate, it's going to be a lot of clusters. Within the graduate, it's going to be a lot of clusters. But actually, the further ranking of Babcock can be 2. And the further ranking of what we have here can also be 2. Can anybody tell us what we can use here? And that is what we are going to use now. Anybody? Am I communicating with you, or I've lost this class?
I just mentioned it.
Okay, one at a time. Thank you so much.
Can have junior and senior.
Thank you. And I can have. Thank you. I can have freshman and what? Year 2. Now, how will you do that, class? With your data. You add this together. Okay, let me do something on the screen. Okay, I hope you can see me. Let me do something on the screen. You add this together, right? And you also add this together. And you also add this together. And you also add this together. But if you're asked to just please mute, I wish you can mute your profile, ma. I wish you can mute your profile. Thank you. If you're asked just to rank this, you can just add this together, That may not affect your data. That is what we want to do now, so that you don't get confused. Sometimes you do that. Someone told us earlier, Babcock University, undergraduate, postgraduate. Fantastic and correct. That is correct. There's no doubt about that. But in between, you're going to have a lot of data, a lot that you cannot know, that you can still split down to lower categories to get the solution. Please, could you mute your profile? Wow.
I'm checking. Sorry.
Thank you. So that's what we want to do. So we want to do the ranking now. We call it upper and what? Rank upper and what? Under, which has just two categories. Okay. So we reopen our crosstab on the descriptive statistics. In the row box, replace variable rank with what? Upper and what? Under. And if you look at what I gave to you, it is also there. We are just going to change that. The other one remains the same. In the percentage area, just check. We're going to check row, column on the percentage area now. We're just going to change what? The one we have on the row. The one we have on the columns remains the same. Are you on campus? Yes. So by the time you look at it, it's going to give us this. It's going to give us this. Off campus, on campus. But the answer we have here is not going to be the same with what I'm going to generate now. Why? Because let me tell you the reason. I created this column myself. I created this myself. The author did not give us this data. I created this myself. I created this data myself. He didn't give us. However, there's a way we can actually create this data from what we have. But I don't want us to go there now, so that you don't run out of the course. Let's do things the way we feel we can do it. By the time you develop yourself further, you get to know that. So I'm going to switch now to SPSS to go and do this analysis with percentage using cells, and we'll come back and see our result. I hope that is okay, class.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, we are back here. So we're just going to analyze crosstab and I go to, analyze, descriptive statistics, crosstab, and I remove this. Not rank again, but worth. Rank, worth, upper and lower. That's it. Thank you. And in addition to this, we go to what? Cells. We want to see the total row, the total column, and the total percentage. In what? All these in what? In percentage. Remember, the observe is by default. We're actually observing. And once you click on all these three, nothing more. Just click on continue. And finally what? Okay. And we have our two results here. Now, in addition to what we have here, the same thing we have earlier as the summary is coming out. But is usually the summary will give, either you ask for percentage or not. It's going to give you a percentage of correct value, percentage of incorrect value. Okay? That is one. What we need is just this. And you can see now we have rank. We have rank within what? Rank upper and what? Live on campus. Rank upper is this. Okay? And you live on campus with those who are upper. Rank what? This is within rank upper, within live on campus, and it's giving us the total. This is also another rank upper, live on campus, and live on campus remains the same, and it's giving us total. So within the rank upper, we have two types, like I've explained. I have the two types, and live on campus is given to us. So if you copy this out now to where we are going, we can actually copy to go and compare outside. And I have copied it. I'm going to paste it with my result outside. I'm going to paste it. So here now we have yes and no. We have total. And we have the percentage of each yes and no. Okay? Rank upper, you don't live on campus. Live within on campus, no. 89 is what? Giving us what? It's giving us 39%. 90 is giving us what? 60%. And the total percentage is what? Is this. The total percentage is this. And we have the total as 184. And here the total of this percentage is what? Is 47, and this in that order. So let's go back now and compare this. However, okay, you discover that the grand total here, this is the grand total of everything. The grand total of everything. Some are actually up to 100. Everything here equals to 100. And here we have 100, 100, and here it's not up to 100. So meaning that there are errors somewhere, because this was generated by, I used my hand to generate this. So there are some issues somewhere that is not giving us the appropriate score. Let me switch back to the note so that we can compare that to what we have on the note. All right, this is what we have in the note. If you run this, we have this. Okay, we have class rank, we have class man, class rank. We have within. We have class rank. Everything is actually within class rank, just like we had. However, there's a deficient. I hope if you ask a question, I will explain. If you don't ask the question, I will just keep you in the loop, so that I will assume that I will just assume that you didn't understand it to that level. But let's look at this report. Let me compare this report to my own report that I'm bringing in now. My own is actually bigger than this. Maybe I dropped my above. I just pasted my own to compare this to what we are having below. This is the one we did, that we generated our data. We have 1 to 4 here. Here we have just, we just have, There's an error somewhere. I like to quickly check. This is not supposed to be 1 to 4. It's not supposed to be 1 to 4. Rank upper. It should just be 1 to 2. Permit me to check the data set briefly. Let me switch back to data set. Once I confirm that, then we can SPSS. We can go ahead. Rank upper and lower. Okay, it's correct. It's 1 to 2. This is what I'm saying. It should not be up to 4 again. Yeah, okay, it's correct. It's 1 to 2. I hope that we don't have 3 there that is creating the error. I'm seeing 1 to 4 there. It means some data are getting to 4. Are you checking with me, class?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope I don't have up to 4 there. Yeah, I've not seen any, but the result I'm getting here is showing that it's up to 4 because I created it myself. I created this 1 to 2 myself. All right, let's just believe it's okay for now. We would look for where the error is from later. We can get that later. But I've seen some error somewhere there. So we'll go back to the note and let's conclude on the report. Then you can ask your questions and we move on. All right, that's our own notes. This is from their own report, which is the same thing in a different way, on campus, off campus. We can't get the same data, but one thing is very, very paramount here. Your percentage value here must give you 100. Did our own give us 100? Yes, it's giving us 100 as well, but we are not having 100 here. We are not having 100 on number 2 here, but we have 100 here, which is correct. Okay, we also have 100 here, which is correct. Do we have 100 there? Yes. Do we have 100 there? Okay, I think it's correct. So that's it. And the total here, 227, 161, and overall 388. Our own is what? What's our overall here? On the total count is 380, 384, which is correct. It's actually correct with our what? With our summary. Do you notice that? I don't know how many of you noticed it, but it's correct with our summary. What you have to compare, your summary is the input you use. Remember, I recoded it, so we can't get the same thing as 388 as valid data. So based on that, I think we are correct. Yeah, just permit me to finish, then I request that you ask your question. Permit me to finish, then you can ask your question. Let's look at the report here. They have done the report. The proportion of underclassmen who live off campus is 34.8 or 79. 79 as against what? Over what? Over 227. Okay? That is, look at it here. How do you get this? Proportion of those who live on campus. Let's look at their own report. Live on campus, 79. How many percentage? 34. Over what? Or you say 34.8, which is 34.8, or 79 as again over what? Over 227. That's number 1. Number 2, the proportion of thank you. The proportion of underclassmen who lived this is off campus. Now on campus is 65. Off campus 65.2 or what? 148 and this. Then you now say proportion of upper. This is under. Now we go for upperclassmen. Do you have upper here? How do we get upper here? May I ask? Okay, upper here is there. Okay, good. All right. Now I think we are correct. We have upper, we have under. Let's look at our own table. Rank upper. Now there's supposed to be 2 classification which we should have changed. This is one of this is upper, while the other one is what? Is under. Our classification.
Under.
Thank you. You understand now. One is upper, one is under. Because we recorded it, it's actually changing. So one is upper, one is what? Under. But in terms of the largeness of our table, we are correct. And they also have 2 tables. One is upper, one is under. Yes, your question now. So we have 2 reports, under and upper. Remember, those who are upper are those who are senior. Those who are under are those who are junior. And we have their classification and the percentage. I told you we can combine percentage and what? Numbering together as we explained earlier. All right, your question now.
Yes, sir. So, was doing that, when I went to that analyze, I did not see where I can input the under. I only saw upper but I did not get honor for the ranking. I don't know what happened. I tried to know, but it's not accepting it.
I agree. I know what you are saying. If you okay, I know what you are saying. Let me just switch quickly. I know what you are saying and exactly what happened to. This is the data we are using. Okay, I want to switch back. This is it. We are actually using this data, and we would code our own. I'll give us assignment today that will allow us to code our own, and we see this is descriptive statistics where we have a crosstab. Uh, what we have here is what? It's just rank upper, and the rank upper here has no classification. What I think I think we can do is to have our classification here when we have rank. Then on our labels here, we need to do a lot here. Okay, on our variable here, we need to do a lot. 1 falls in what? Upper. 2 falls in what? Under. With that's what they did. I don't know if you still remember this class.
Yes, sir.
That's what they did. And from there, the classification you are talking about. For instance, now, I say 1 is what? 1 is upper what? Upper class, if that is what we choose to use. 2 is what? No, sorry, 1 is lower. If we want to use upper class, it's going to be 4 upper class at. Then we correct. Then we use 2 to be upper. We now change. I don't know if you are getting along, class. Those of you who started the class. Then for lower now, we can just say, okay. Then we create for lower. We can now say lower is 1 and 2, lower class. Then we have another lower class to be 2, lower class. For this now, we have finished our classification. By the time you go and generate the result, though it's going to affect this. It's going to affect this ranking here. By the time you generate the result, you are going to get exactly what you are saying. Are you with me, Madam from biochemistry? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Did you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That is exactly what we do, because I actually modified this data, so we are not getting exactly what they got. I didn't know where they got their own data from. They didn't share with us, so I just work on the data I have. But by the assignment I'm going to give to us, it's going to be comprehensive and it's going to include that. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right. May I take further questions if you have further questions? Please always save your work.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, from our results, the output result that we got.
Yes.
We have lived on campus 1. So I don't understand. The 0, is it on campus or off campus, sir?
It's off. It's off.
Okay, sir.
By default, know that on is 1, off is 0. Even if nobody tells you, know that. The only thing that is not by default is male and female. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
There is no way we can get. We can. Please, Deogratis, let's classify. Let's finish on this before you ask further questions. The only thing that is not clear, you cannot by default get, is when classification comes in what? Male and female with coding, and that is why you have to code your work yourself. There's no way we can say 1 and 0, we say male. There's nothing to justify that. Just how do I know that it's on and off? If you switch on your light, it's something we have studied in electricity a long time ago. Switch on your light at home. 1 means there's light, 0 means there's no light. Yes means 1, no means 0. It's just a rule of thumb by logic. That's how I got to know that. The other ways we cannot know, except you know how you coded it. I hope that is clear, everybody.
Yes, sir.
All right, Deogratis, you can ask your question now.
Yes, thank you, sir. I was saying that according to this table generated concerning the rank upper, I saw, for example, the number of 8, 9 as 89 for the people who live off campus.
Yes.
And 95 for the first row.
Yes.
For people living in campus.
Yes.
Is this number related to the previous table where we're having 100 of people?
Yes. It's the same data. It's the same data. It's related. The only thing we introduced in the second solution is that we reduce the ranking to 2 classification, and we also introduce what percentage in the output. That's all. I hope you are clear, sir.
But the number are not matching, sir.
Yes, it cannot. It cannot match. Do you know why it cannot match? I tried to explain to us. You have matched. Okay, Babcock University classification is 9. Remember 9. How did we get 9? 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, 500, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is PhD, 8 is MSc, 7 is PGD, 5 is first degree, and 100 level is fresher, in that order. Do you understand that? Deogratis, are you with us? Okay, I hope class you understand what we are trying to say. By the time you now compress it, you cannot get the same result, because we now want to split this 9 into 2, undergraduate and graduate. Now it's going to compress all the population of undergraduate to 1 and all the population of graduate to what? To 1. So you cannot be equal with the data when you have it 1 to 9. Am I with everybody or have lost everyone?
We are with you, sir.
I hope you are getting the clarity of my explanation. Hello, class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can we go to the next level? Or if you have question, please ask your question, because I'm going to give you an assignment on this. And I've just told you the assignment is going to be on Babcock University, but you generate your own data. Or I can think otherwise and get the data for you if I'm able to get, and ask you to work on the data. Any question?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask, from the assignment you gave us, and I think you've shown us before, but I forgot how to do it. When assigning numbers to some of the values,
okay.
When we finish doing it, the output table will show, like Mrs. Shudia asked, the other time, like gender, when we assign 0 to, I'm not sure if it's applicable to gender now.
Yeah, no, gender can be anything. It can be 0, it can be 1, depending on you. Gender is not fixed. It's
so
because
I saw that in the assignment,
yes.
The class, the explanation, they were able to change some of those values from 0, 1 to the actual what's it called now? The actual label. That was like, it was showing female, it was showing male. It wasn't just showing 0 and 1. And
okay.
I think you talked about it before, but I forgot.
Okay, here, right? Here, right?
Output.
Okay, in this place, right?
The output. Yes, I'm not. You showed us how to change it here.
Okay,
and
yeah.
The output,
it's on the label.
Now showing.
Yeah, there are 2 ways.
Yeah.
It's either you have your label, fill your label here. You can see that no label is fixed here. Fill your label here. Then, as it is here, you can also, if you have, okay, we have. No, we don't have gender here. Do we have gender here? No. I wanted to give you an example. Gender. Okay, we have a gender here. Gender is number 3. Let's go up. Number 3 is gender. We have 0001 here. Instead of 01, I can say, okay, gender is male. Okay, I just put male here. I can see it's not going to take it because it's been defined as numeric. So it's not going to take it, except I change it as string. That's the only way it will accept it. So we have to go back here, change this to what? String. However, if you change all this to the actual number, by the time you get the output is going to reflect the actual number and not numbering here. But there's going to be a problem. It's not going to give you exact. If you are looking for the percentage of male students on campus, you will not get it, because SPSS works on numeric. Male, female is not numeric. It's not numerical in nature.
So, like in the assignment you gave us, is it just safe to assume that 0 is male, 1 is
It's not an
female?
assumption. Which assignment did I give you? May I ask?
The comparing means that we did. So the labels in the data variable.
Oh, it was not explained, right? I gave you data to work with.
View, it wasn't. I mean, the variable view.
It's an it wasn't good. Good. Thank you so much. I want to assume. I don't know who is speaking, but thank you. It's an assumption we have to use. Myself, there's no backup. There's no explanation to, because by divine arrangement, nobody is meant to be 0. Nobody is meant to be 1. Are you with me, class?
Yeah.
And nobody is superior. And nobody, you know that nobody is superior. So I cannot place anybody in 0 and anybody is 1. So by nomenclature, please let it be an assumption.
Okay, so but what if okay, like in this situation now, my assumption may have been different from somebody else's assumption.
That's no problem. Your report is based on your assumption.
I'd like to say male is 0 because I'm feminine, so it's better for males to be 0.
There's no problem about that. That's not a problem. Your explanation is based on the assumption. In your if it's a live work, it's not going to be on assumption. Do you know that?
Yes.
That's it. So this is just for us to understand the class. It's just for us to understand the class.
So,
assumption is just based on
Deogratias,
please always be patient. Let's get to the root of things before another question comes. So that this is video. By the time you don't listen well, you will not get the clarity when you are watching. It's going to be clumsy. Thank you so much. I hope the explanation on who counts 0 and who takes 1 is clear. When I give you work, it's based on assumption, but when I give you practical demonstration, like the one I'm going to give you next now, assumption will not play in it. Are we together, class?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Deogratis, you have the floor now.
Yes, sir. I was saying that through the assignment, I saw that 0 and 1 may have an impact. For example, when we're having like athletes and non-athletes, you may realize that when you set 0 to 1 or another, finally you may get an output that tells you that non-athletes are better than athletes in time of in distance running, and this one proves wrong. So that one requires me to go and change where I set it to 0, I change it to 1. This is what I did.
Don't do that again, right? Sometimes your assumption does not bring out the result, and I understand what you are saying. When remember that you don't even have the interpretation of this. That's why I said, someone asked, I don't know if she showed you or somebody else, we are living on assumption here. We are living on assumption that 0 is non-athlete, 1 is athlete. What if it's the other way around? Deogratis. Do you know? If you ask me, on my experience, I don't know. But by assumption, I would think non-athlete is 0, athlete is 1. That is an assumption still. There is nowhere we are documenting, but I will give you something that will give us live scenario of what it should be. And anytime you have that, when you say non-athlete is covering more distance, it happened. It could happen in research. You cannot determine your expectation of what research should be. Cannot, even if you do a project, thesis, PhD, and you are seeing some things that you cannot explain, please don't change it. If you change it, it's unethical in research. Then you are falsifying record. Leave it and explain your doubt. That is part of the record. Are we together, class?
Okay, thank you for the advice.
Thank you. Do I have your guidance to go to the next level on this cross-tabulation, which is just how to eliminate what? How to eliminate missing value. Do we do that together? Do we do that together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So if you want to eliminate missing values, there are a lot of missing values there, gentlemen and ladies. But usually you should do it one after the other, because the missing value I have in this column does not affect everything. It only affects how many columns? Just 3. Enrollment, ranking, rank upper, and what? And rank. this column affects some, not all. So it's quite difficult to, to remove. However, let's see. We just remove one, and let's see if it will remove all. Anyway, let's remove one. What's the process? Go to data. Everybody, go to data. I'm so sorry. I don't have this note. I'm not sure I have this note. So you have the recording, which is a note. Go to the data and go to select cases. Select cases. And I'm on select cases, and it has covered all the variables I have under what? Under my variable. It has brought them out, saying that which one do you want to remove. Let's work on rank anyway. Let's work on rank because we have a number of missing value on rank. And I want to use on the select, I want to use the if condition to actually determine. And I click on the if condition and I click on if. In case you are lost, I didn't do much. I came starting again. You don't have to select anything. Hello, do I have a problem? Yes. I've actually started again. I don't have to select anything on the data. Just go to data and you go down. The last to the second to the last command there, or two there. Select what? Cases. And my cursor is on what? Is on rank, because I want to use rank. Okay? And even if you don't want to use rank, you can still remove it and change it later. It doesn't matter where your cursor is there. But I'm using the second. You say all cases. I'm not using all cases because if I want to use all cases, gentlemen and ladies, I can actually use all cases. Maybe by next week I will teach you all cases, how to remove missing value in all cases. I will do that with you next week. But today, let's see how we can use what? If condition to select just for one. If condition is if. What would you mean by if condition? If an alternative condition. If rain is falling, I will not come to class. If rain does not fall, I will be in class. These are conditional statements that has an if, an alternative decision. So that's what we mean by if condition. So I click on if here. It says if condition is satisfied, which means it should happen. I click on if here. And I have this here, right? What do I want to do? You go to the function of what you want to do by the right hand side, function group. Okay, and I click here. I look for what? I look for missing value. Look for missing value. Okay, look at it here. And I click, and the conditions for missing value is out. And I will click missing value here again. You double click now, not clicking. Look at it here. On the functions and special variable, I have what? I have missing here. So double click, and I have clicked it. And by the way, let me go back. There's an error I've just generated. I'm going to delete this. Just delete. Before this, I have to give a command, and this is the command, meaning that make selection remove missing value. That is the meaning of this. Remove missing value. Then I cannot take what? I cannot put missing value there. Then the command, where do I want to remove the missing value? Is waiting for me. It says missing value, question mark. You can see this is a question mark here, meaning something is supposed to be in that middle. Okay, so in this middle, what do I want to remove the missing value? Is rank. So I can double click here and it falls into it. I want to remove all missing value in the field of what? Rank. And I click continue. And I click. Now it says filter what? Filter out unselected what? Cases. Let's look at it now. Now, it's not going to give you anything here. It's not going to give you anything here because your missing value is still active. So you don't have any output here. We did not do anything. It's just going to give you the solution of the command. So we go back to the, sorry, let me use this. If I don't change to the output section there, it's not going to be captured by the recording. If you look at this output, there is no output for you except for the output of this function here. And there is nothing except you know how to read programming. That's when you know what it's saying here. There is nothing here that you need. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So where the result will come is in your data variable. So we'll switch to data variable now, but I have to change my recording to data variable. Then we'll go back there. And we have data. Sorry. Please allow me to finish, madam. Otherwise, some people will be lost. Just allow me to finish. Now, on my data variable, now I'm back here. I have made some selection of missing value. Class, can you tell me what you have noticed by the left-hand side? There's something showing, it's tracking, there's some strike off there.
I don't see
the number indicating where the missing values are.
Thank you. We have worked on rank, okay? And at this point now, it's going to eliminate that, and it's not good. It's not only cutting on rank. It's going to cut across every variable. Every variable. Do you notice that, class? Look at them. It's going to remove all that to the end. Hello? And remember, missing values are invalid. Are we together, class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, that is my first question. I have another question for you. There's something that you will notice here too. Look at filter here. We have just filtered. We have not initiated the command. We have not executed the command. We can decide not to execute it. We have just done something. We have just filtered it. Look at this column called filter. I want you to interpret this zeros and one based on the selection here. Anybody?
Yeah, I would say that for we identify one for the first respondent, where we have one, that is for the first respondent, there is only one missing value. Then where we have zero,
No.
means that there are no missing values.
No, ma.
Okay.
No. Thank you. Somebody else?
Okay.
Thank you. Somebody else?
So 0 is the missing number. 1 is where we have valid.
Thank you. That's it. That's the answer. If you look at all the zeros, it has been considered as missing number from the striking. Look at this. Read this to the end. It will associate you with 0. Read this. It will initiate with 0. Why? Where you have 1 on the, remember, we're talking about ranking. Where we have 1 is the valid number. That's the interpretation of this. Thank you so much. Now, the next thing before you ask further question, we're going to eliminate them now. I just showed you. By the time we eliminate, it will reduce a lot of things. Now we have, let me just show you so that you get the record now. Now we have 435. By the time we eliminate what we have, it's going to be less than that. So let's quickly, how do we eliminate? Go back to data, go back to select cases, and what we just need to do, we're not going back inside, we are in the if condition. Look at, there's a number here. We have filtered out what? Unselected cases now. What do? Delete them. I click on what? Delete unselected cases, and I click OK, and they are gone. Look at it. This is an output section. Again, you're not going to see anything on the output section that's make meanings to you. For those who can read this are those who are programmers. This cannot make meaning to you. It's just the output of the selecting cases. And here it's saying what? Missing rank, which means we work on rank. So by the time you go back to the SPSS, I switch to SPSS, and I come back there, you will have your result. Now, if you look at the results, gentlemen and ladies, do you still have 0 at your filter space? Do you still have 0 at your filter space? Everything, all the zeros have been eliminated. Now, let's go back. Earlier, we have a total of what? 4 what? Do you remember? 430 what? As a total?
435.
God bless you. Now we have 406. It has reduced. However, the error has reduced. Now, if you look at it, the missing value here now we have, let's look at rank and upper. Rank and upper, we don't have any missing value. Our missing value now is, okay, I'm just seeing 1 here. Okay, I'm seeing 2 here now. I'm seeing 2 here. So, which means now, if you want to remove missing value in rank, upper, you do the same. Missing value in gender, go and do the same. But the crux of the matter is that by next week, I'm going to teach us how to remove missing. I don't think, well, I will find out. Let me not give you something I don't know yet. Let me find out how we can remove missing value that cut across everyone. But one thing is sure, one missing value will affect another field that is not missing. That one is sure. I want to find out if there's a way we can remove missing value that will not affect another field, but I don't know. I've not had it before, but I will try. That's the only thing I think I want to find out. But how can we remove gender now? Do the same thing again. Remove gender, but if you remove gender missing value, it's going to affect, it's going to destroy what? Rank and rank upper and what? And athlete and height and weight and these that are not missing value. And that is apparent. So at the end of the day, you may not have more than remember the other time we have only what? 388, just like we said. So at the end of the day, we'll have valid data as what? Exactly, 388. I don't know if you remember that we had 388 valid variable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
That is where we are ending to. So you will continue to remove this missing value one level to the other until you finished everything, and it will reduce the total number. For instance, now you want to remove the next one, you go back to what? Data. Go back to data, go back to select cases, and just leave it on rank. You can change it later. Go to if condition, and we all have this. Now we are done with rank. Just remove rank. I want to start all over for the sake of those who have questions. This is the command you select all. Then you click on missing or function missing. Then what do you want to work on? Yeah, I want to work on weight. So click on weight. Sorry, height, and click on continue. And click on OK. No, sorry, we are not deleting. I want to select first. If I leave delete here, it will not show you what we want to delete. So I'm moving to what? Filter out. Sometimes we may copy select case to a new data set. I will show you that by next class, or probably today too. We can see it. It's going to copy we can copy that. Let's see what we want to copy first. Let's see what we want to copy. This is it. How many do we have now? Remember, we're working on height. Do you see that, class? Hello? Am I alone?
Yeah, it is, sir.
No, it is clear.
Is it getting more? Is it? I hope you people have eaten today. Is it complex? It's the same thing. So I'm doing another one now. Sometimes I may not want to delete. I want to remove them. I want to copy this out. I want to copy out. So let's go back to data. Okay. Select cases. I want to copy out. We have identified that now. I want to copy out, copy selected data set to a new field called what? Call new height. New height. Do you see that? I just label it and I click OK. Now, gentlemen and ladies, I have new height. Let's see. Rank, gender, athlete. It should be. Is it height or weight? Okay. Yeah, it's height. It's height. This is its height. So where do we have it? Did it copy? Did it copy? We can't see where it is actually. We can't see where it is. But let's eliminate if it's going to drop it. We have not seen it yet. We can't see the new height. But let's eliminate it if we are going to see the new height. Then I go back and I click on what? Delete. Let's see if it's going to happen now. Let's see if it's going to give us the new height now. New height, it didn't work. So we'll try that out by next class. That didn't work for us. But actually it has removed from 407. We're not going to have up to 407 again. You can see we have 383 now, not even 388. And if you look at it, we still have some missing value. Still, okay, it has removed a lot. And right now it has removed that, and we have it here. This is the correct value we have here. So your questions anyway. Your questions. I wish we were able to cover more. My intention was to cover 2 topics today, which is cross-tabulation and chi-square. This is about 2 minutes to 9. I don't know. It's like I won't be able to cover chi-square. We still have a long way to go. Dear researchers, a long way to go. Okay, we can't rush this, otherwise you may not get it. Ask your questions, please.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know what I did wrong, but instead of striking out the ones that had missing values, it actually struck out the ones that had complete values. So I'm hoping that when I go back to it, I'm able to figure out what I did wrong when I go through the video again.
Yeah, that's the only way. Thank God we have a video processing that is captured. I'm sure there are some errors you may have committed in the process. All you need to do is just walk your way back, start all over, delete what you need to do. For example, let me walk you through. If you want to make it again, just select cases, uh, if condition, select if condition, remove this. You have this before, remove this totally. Yeah, and if you are looking for missing value here, we'll still use this for something else later. Yeah, this is for all calculations you want to do to variables. You want to add new column. Earlier on, I told you that we can actually change rank to rank upper. Here, we can do that here. But I didn't want to start with you on that so that you don't get confused or afraid of going further. I want us to take it from the smaller to a greater level. And you discover that as we move on, it's going to be getting more tougher. That's why I want us to solve our problems. I wish I could cover chi-square today. But as it is, if I don't cover it today, by next class, I think I'm going to give you the notes. I'm going to give you the chi-square note, and I'll give you an example. Let's see what you can make up. I think my assignment is not going to be here. My assignment is going to be on chi-square. I'll give you chi-square, I'll give you data to work with, and I'll see what you can make out of it. That's the only way we can move in this class, gentlemen and ladies. Otherwise, our 7 week will appear as 1 week in terms of the coverage of the syllabus. And I don't want that to be. So you may have to do a lot on yourself. If you have the note, then you come and report back to me in class. Then we clear doubt and move to the next topic. Is that okay for everybody?
Yes, sir. So I want to ask the upper column here that is this, where your cluster is. What do you write there? What do you place here? That's where I'm stuck.
Oh, I'm coming. What we are looking for earlier is actually here. It has moved it. It has copied it here. It's not just showing us outside. Is that okay? That's the column. The missing value. It's the filter, but we label another one, a new label, new height. It didn't come. Anyway, this is the filtered value that we can delete later. I will answer your question, madam. Let me try and explain this all over. I will come back to that. We are trying to delete missing value. I'm not going to delete any again. I will just show you what to do. When you are here, look for the function group. Look for missing M. You can go up if you can't find it, or you go down. Look for M. Missing M. Okay, missing value. So just click on missing. Then all the things you can use with missing is going to come out. Then this is what is called selection. Select all. Then all what? Missing. Double click. Missing. Of what? You want to remove athlete. Then you click continue. And if you look at it, make sure you change this one to filter. If you don't change it to filter, it's going to delete. It won't show you. It will just remove it. But it's usually fine if it shows you what you want to delete, or what you want to delete. Okay, it's not showing me now. And I did which one? Is it athlete I chose? Class. Was it athlete?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know why it's not showing me? Can someone tell me why I'm not having athlete? Anybody? I wish. Anybody? Let me save this crosstab. Crosstab.
Maybe there is no missing value in outlet.
Thank you, because there was no missing value. Exactly, that's it. There was no missing value in outlet. This is the new data now. I've just saved clean. Now, I'm going to take your question, the woman that asked earlier. Now, when you remove your missing value, this process, what do we call it, everybody? This process we are doing now, what is it called?
Organizing or cleaning.
Data cleaning.
Thank you. We are cleaning data. It's called, the first thing you do when you finish coding and when you finish entering your data is data cleaning. Right? It is not organizing. You don't need to organize anything. The system will organize it. It is data cleaning. And out of the data cleaning, there are two cleaning processes that we do. removing what? Missing value and removing outliers. In our subsequent classes, today we have seen how to remove missing value. I will teach us how to remove outliers. By the way, before I answer the questions that was voiced earlier, may I ask you, what is an outlier? Anybody in the class, what is an outlier, please? Anybody? You can speak, please. If you know the meaning of outlier, you are free to speak.
The extreme values.
Come again, please.
Outliers.
Yes.
They are values that are not supposed to be included in the sample.
Okay. Can you give us a practical?
Yes.
Can you give us
example?
Good.
A practical example.
Good.
Like you want to interview managers in the banking industry.
Yes.
You now discover that one of the respondents were maybe the cleaner in that organization.
Good.
So
good.
There is a way it will show that it is out of that sample, of that respondent, out of what you are looking for.
Thank you. That's good.
Those are the outliers.
That's one of the examples of an outlier. That's very good. I like that. Another example is that when you're asking, when you have...
example is maybe...
Go ahead.
Maybe for gender,
good.
We have coded them to be 0 for male and 1 for female. Okay. And then you are seeing 2
good.
Or 3.
Good. I don't have to add anything again. You have justified all the points. Good. So that is an outlier. And the definition of outlier is that when variable falls outside the range of definition. That's the meaning. That's when you're asked to define an outlier. When your variable falls outside the range of what? Outside the range of your definition. You need to remove them. You need to remove them by bringing them closer, because that is an error for you. By the time you draw the line graph, the chart, you will see it falling aside. It's not going to align with your result. So we'll see how we'll deal with that before the end of this series. Gentlemen and ladies, sorry, someone asked a question earlier. Can you come again so that we treat all doubt before even though I cannot take chi-square, I'm going to give you the note and assignment on that. Right now, we are beginning to know how we can use our SPSS. So you can work on your own if I guide you. That's it. Then I will check your result. May I take your question again? Someone says she did something and something is coming up. Come again with that question. I'm getting to the end of the lesson today.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
My own question is on this missing value, sir.
Okay.
Does it mean that if maybe you distribute 400 questionnaires, and at the end of the day, you recover all the 400, and there were missing values, is that one missing value, or maybe you recover 430 out of, 330 out of 400? Does the remaining 70 make up for the missing value?
No, ma'am. That is missing your questionnaire.
So how are we going to calculate that, sir?
That is a missing questionnaire, not missing value. And remember, when you calculate sample size for quantitative, they ask you to put... Good. What is the meaning of attrition rate? Attrition will account for missing what? Questionnaire.
Yes, sir.
That is it. So sometimes you may have to, if you know that the environment you are going into is you have so many assistants helping you to do your work, you may have to increase your attrition, and you have to back it up by literature and with explanation. You know you have so many research assistants, and you know that I'm so sorry, most of the researches we do in Nigeria now, the research assistants are looking for money. Nobody is looking for skills. They may sit in a corner and use their hand to fill it for you. That is provided the questions are not missing. So sometimes they may give you insufficient questionnaire back. So you may have to increase your what? Increase your attrition. Instead of normal default of 10, you can increase it to 20, 30, 40, provided you can defend it. Okay, so we defend that with the missing questionnaire with attrition. Why missing value? Nobody prays for a missing value, and that's why you need to guide those who are filling it in. You need to see how you can motivate them with whatever you have, so that they will not just jump some areas because they are not clear. And that is why your instrument, your questionnaire has to be written in a clear and simple English. Don't use grammar. The moment they don't understand, they have to be looking for dictionary. No, everyone is on the go. Nobody is willing to do that. They will drop your questionnaire for you, and you will face the music yourself. All right, and you may have to go back to the field. That's what will happen because you are short of the number you need to have, and you cannot get good result. Let me let you know that the more questionnaire you have, the more accurate will be your result. The less you have, the less results. The less accurate will be your result. So you will have to drop what you have. It's not sufficient. You go back again. So there are so many reasons why we have inaccurate results. These are just some of it, and we need to guide against it. Okay, may I ask other questions? Someone was asking earlier, you did want to remove missing value, you got something. Please come up now and let's deal with it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, somebody else?
So I want to ask a question. The reason why we have to clean our missing data, is it that it's going to have effect on our output, or it's just to clean the data?
Can someone else answer? Thank you so much. I want someone to answer that. No, nobody. So that we have a valid data to run throughout. If by next week, I wish we can all, let's try and do this ourselves. The one I gave to us, remove all the missing values, everybody, and now run the what? Run the crosstab. You discover that the summary is going to be very, 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 very clean. You're not going to have invalid. You're going to have valid. Missing value is going to give you 0, and that is what you expect to work with as a statistician. You're not supposed to have outlier, you're not supposed to have missing value, even though it's going to eliminate your missing value from the total result, but you are not supposed to go with that. You are supposed to work without missing value. I think I've answered that. Any other question, gentlemen and ladies?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome. Any other question? There was a lady, biochemistry. She was talking about, maybe she sorted it out. I don't know. I wish to leave every stone, covered here, so that you don't have any doubt. So that you don't have, because if you have doubt, then you have problem with the assignment that we give to you. All right. On the final note, do we have any question? This is my time is it's 12 minutes after 9 a.m. in Nigerian time. I'd like to close now, but for the final word, any final question? Otherwise, we'll be meeting next week, but your assignment will come between today and tomorrow, or between today and Friday. Friday is tomorrow. So, any question, class?
When are you going to receive results from the assignment for probably correction?
Okay.
Those we've submitted.
I'll work on that. Just keep submitting where you are submitting. I'll work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, based on that, gentlemen and ladies, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. I wish you a wonderful week, and I hope that you have time to practice this. I will give you some practice questions. You don't have the one you are to practice on Crosstab. It's going to be on Babcock University population of those who live within and outside. Yeah, on a good note, you can't capture that except to distribute a question. Yeah, but I just want us to see how we can work on the analysis, not really getting accurate questionnaire. So you may have to compute a dummy data of 10 records. You are not submitting. It's just a practice question. The one you'll be submitting is going to be on the chi-square. Let's move further so that I'll give you something to work on, something to submit. And with this, I hope that at the end of the day, I will see people who are better than me in statistics here. That's my intention. Let's create teachers out again so that we can distribute this to other areas and begin to teach. All right, with this note, I wish you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Attendance, can we drop our notes on the
Yeah, just drop it on the WhatsApp. I came to class, that's all. Just drop it. I came to class. Bye-bye. Bless you. Yeah, bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.